Thank you very much for that one. I'd like to acknowledge the presence of Sechi Bedu, former Dean of Languages Education, University of Education, Winneba. Also, Mrs. Mercy Ashia Hazel, our registrar. At this point in time, the department has gone through ages, and we would like to have on stage here something of a sort of a generation, something representative of what the department has been through. So I'd like to welcome on stage here three distinguished alumni of the department. And let's start with Mrs. Margaret Ishimaika. Mrs. Comfort Okran. Mr. George Adu Jr. These are very distinguished people. Mrs. Margaret Ishimaika is from Ubula and Naibu. Mrs. Comfort Okran, we are all aware, is from Legacy and Legacy. And George Adu Jr., if you listen to sports on Joy News, Joy TV, you probably know him. With a hand clap, please, let's welcome Mrs. Ishimaika.
Ladies and gentlemen, it's pride and joy that I become a part of this anniversary. It was when I received the invitation that I realized that I'm actually beginning to join the prehistoric group. Because in 1976, my father received a telegram saying that I had received admission to the University of Ghana, and I had been offered English, linguistics, and classical civilization. The first one, I knew what it was about. But linguistics and classical civilization, how about? I didn't have an idea what it was. But because I wanted university education and I didn't have that many options, I accepted that invitation. And I remember that the first few days we went to the linguistics department. We were taught many things, talked about semantics, phonetics, language, tonal language, and so on. And as a result of that, we had long-lasting friendships. I remember Dr. Moza. I haven't heard from him, but his family and our family in the United States have become like one big family. And we refer to his late brother as Father Moza. Then we also had Professor Yanka. He taught us, I remember his lessons in linguistics of Akan. And in fact, because of that, I really wanted to major in linguistics, but the story continues. And then we had Professor Goldfein, who was my role model. I wanted to be like her. And so I decided that I'd like to do linguistics as a study, as a major. But it turned out that I wanted to work in the bank. And I didn't know how I was going to explain to them that a degree in linguistics was also valuable. And so I sought counsel, and I was told that even though in those days Ghana Commercial Bank, that was not the bank I joined, but Ghana Commercial Bank advertised that we could take a degree from archaeology to zoology, and I believe linguistics falls within the region. And therefore, I said, well, let me do a combined honors to be on the safe side, so that if they don't understand, I can tell them actually I did a real degree with English. And those fears, I must say, were confirmed, because when I joined the bank, I worked in Barclays for many years. And an executive director came on a grant visit and said, young lady, what did you study? I said, English with linguistics. He said, oh, that means you understand French, so we will take you to Togo when we open the branch. So then it meant that it was safe to have just done the degree in English with linguistics so that I don't have to explain all that. But I had my regrets because I loved linguistics. But because I didn't know how to express to the world of business, I just settled with a combined honors. But as it would be over the years, it has held me in good stead. Because the role that I eventually occupied in Barclays required that I do a lot of public speaking. And therefore, ability to communicate was so important. And I also find that I'm currently running perhaps the only customer service academy. And it requires that I train people in skills in customer care. And the little research I did with my participants indicated that the most useful subject in the lot was effective communication. And I find that I'm now teaching them the importance of tonality, which we learned in linguistics of Akan, that Ga, for example, was a tonal language, and that meaning could be changed depending on the tone that you used. So who said that a degree in linguistics was irrelevant? It really did benefit me a lot. I can say in my public speaking, private speaking, in the church, wherever I find myself. And not to forget all the people who were there. I can see some of my classmates. I can see Prof. Sa and others. And the relationships that have been built over the years. And one of the most important relationships I benefited in addition to getting a degree was I found a husband in the linguistics class. Who I have been married to for several decades. He sent his apologies because he's in another engagement. I think you all know he didn't teach like that. So linguistics doesn't only benefit you in your communication skills, it can have some other benefits that you didn't sign up for. So ladies and gentlemen, I would say that my study of linguistics has been of great benefit to me, both in the business, in the social, and everywhere I have found myself. Thank you very much.
It's a real privilege to be here this afternoon, celebrating the 50th anniversary of linguistics, and actually looking forward, I think, to the next 50 years of linguistics in Ghana. Mr. Chairperson, Mr. Chairman, the head of department, our guest speaker, fellow linguists and people from the academia. It's my mic is in position. I kind of share the same beginnings with Mrs. Sejimanga when she says that when she was asked to come to the linguistics department, she had absolutely no clue what linguistics was all about. I even came from a family that didn't, I was kind of the first person who had gone to university in the family. So they made it a little more interesting because they were just sending me to just get a degree, and they didn't know what degree I was going to come back home. But they believed enough in the university to send me to the university. So I came there. And when we first met, I listened to Prof. Daki's of Blessed Mami his dry jokes. Prof. Yanka taught me how to speak the unspeakable. Prof. Chairman for today, he taught me that there's a nature to language and therefore language doesn't happen. Prof. Dolphin will come and smile at us in class and tell us about how phonetics works, and therefore you must go that way and not this way. Prof. Idowu told us that we can acquire language, and these are the skills that children use to acquire language. And when I put it all together, I grew to love the language. I grew to love the subject. I just didn't see myself going away with the department, so much so that I was supposed to be there for 3 years. I spent 10 years in the department, and they finally had to kick me out. So they kicked me out, and I went to the corporate world, and I said, well, I have this beautiful dream of becoming the best in the corporate world. And therefore, based on that, I use the skills, the opportunities to, Prof. Wade said the structure, you have to do the thing, and then so you do the syntactic structures and ensure that the position is somewhere and the run-on clause. I used that so much in my corporate role. It was so helpful to me that when people came to my organization, which was Convert Impressions, which was a print firm, they knew that whatever they wanted to communicate to their publics, they would get it done in the right way, right on the point. And that helped me a lot. I can't mention what else I did with linguistics, even though when I got there, I didn't know what to do. And today, as we stand here celebrating, I can't help thinking that those many years, 20-something years, odd years ago, when I was stepping into the University of Ghana, I remember from the gate, when I stepped there, I said, you are the first from your family to get here. Better make sure you make a good job out of this. And I'm so glad to the people in the linguistics department who made it happen. We are so grateful to the founding fathers. We are grateful to the faculty who were there when we were there. And I must say, Prof. Abba, continuing the tradition of ensuring that the people who come to the department do not leave with just the information, but they leave with skills, they live with attitude, they live with the belief that not only not only can life be structured, but life can be enjoyed, and life can be lived to make an impact in society. Is a great job that you're doing. We are so grateful to everyone who contributed, from Prof. Dakubu, who I spent countless hours, and I was one of the Ghana students, only 2 at that time. And she will be there, that's why the other were 2. She will be there teaching us patiently, telling us how the tones go and everything. We are so grateful. Thank you for teaching us. Thank you for ensuring that it goes on. And thank you for making sure that our society may just 3 pro-vice chancellors, we'll get a vice chancellor, and then after that, we'll get a president. Thank you very much.
Yeah, I think this is too low. Okay, can I adjust myself? Oh, it was all about, we have the old school. So I'm sure I have the new school here, and I wanted to support me before I start. Can you just put your hands together and make some noise? The new school, yeah? And as linguistics, we learn very fast. Only, I think a week ago, I learned from Professor Japon, when it was quite difficult with all the professors and doctors, he just went and says that you just go by saying all protocol observed. Put your hands together for me. All right, now how did I get into linguistics myself? I also didn't know about the course, but I thought I was smart getting into it. I thought about the word linguistics. Forgive me, I didn't check the dictionary to find out what it really meant. But I was just going by the normal meaning of linguistics and who a linguist is. So I felt that, well, this is a way, a course that could help me speak some better English. So I saw it as maybe English language somehow. And so I got into the University of Ghana. I'm new school, I completed only in 2012, so I'm having some fresh blood. And the first day, I walked into the class. It's good the lecturer is here, Dr. Sa is here. I mean Professor Sa, sorry, then he's now Professor Sa, sorry, Prof. And he started going on and on, the words like fricatives, explosives, I was like, hey, hold on. I wanted to speak some English, but it's all looking like this is the hard way of English. It was quite difficult to take. I had to keep on believing that it was going to be the course I was looking out for. And it went on, it had to be phonetics, it went on and on. And somewhere in level 200, 300, I began to get the groove and get to understand. Professor Amfo as well took us through Akan. I thought I knew how to speak some good Akan. But when we got into the nitty-gritties of Akan, I was like, but this is the language I've been speaking all this while. And all of a sudden, it took some time to really get used to it. I have to say it was really good. Now, when we got to level 400, then I began to enjoy it so much more because I was looking at the courses that would help me, first of all, speak very well. Those were one of the things I was looking out for. An interesting course, like language and law. Dr. Kalempari took that one. It was very exciting for me because I learned about so many things. One of the things that actually still on my mind was when he came to class one day and said, someone could commit suicide and put a note there, but that note might not be the dead man's note. I was like, how is this possible? And then he went on and on. We went through spectrographic analysis, don't let me go too deep into it. And I realized that really, that was a serious course. I also did psycholinguistics that helped me so much. So when I look back at what I did at University of Ghana and I put it together, I think that linguistics helped me so much. One, to speak very well. Thank God I'm at Joy FM, which is the best radio station in the country. I actually got coached while I was at Radio Universe, thanks to linguistics. And that's how come I find myself there. So today I'm not going to be on news night, but you're here. The Joy Sports Update is proudly sponsored by DSTV Compact Plus, get hooked for all your sports and soccer, Guinness Medal More, and NLA Development 2 Games. I'm George Adejina. Let me say a big thank you to all the professors here. Professor Hudu, Dr. Hudu also taught me, Dr. Akalempari, Dr. Sa, I went on and on, child language, Professor Amfo, and I have to say Professor Kukul Sam and Professor Japon, I met you not long ago. It was fantastic when we had the sports for development. Thank you to all of you guys. Thank you, and listen.
We'd like to acknowledge Reverend George Amako. Now to outgo the department's website. And newsletter, we shall introduce Professor Kweku Bosa. Please.
I think there is too much light in the room. But, well, you've already seen it, so I'm not sure I'm supposed to launch it. You were supposed to have concealed it. And then I come and do all the flashy stuff, and I say, okay, so now here we are. At the university, we've been encouraging departments to come up with some really glitzy websites. And I think that the linguistics department is on the right track through the effort of Dr. Obadele Campon. Please, can you rise so the senior, please? He got his PhD from the department only last year. So, okay, so this is the new website. Let's go to welcome and see what is there. I hope your connection is fast. Hey, it's taking too long. In this age, you don't have time to waste, not even 2 seconds, right? All right. So here is a message from the head of department. It's a welcome message to the department. And the site also has various drop-down menus. Let's look at some of the programs. The department has programs in BA Linguistics, BA Ghanaian Languages, Ghanaian Language Studies, Master's programs in Linguistics, Teaching English as a Second Language, Ghanaian Language Studies. We have PhD programs, 3 PhD programs. one in linguistics, one in Ghanaian language studies, the other in teaching English as a second language. You can actually do a PhD in Ghanaian language studies and write your whole thesis in either Ga, Ewe, Akan, Gagari, Imoba, Sachogoki, Acholi, etc., etc. This is something we are pushing hard for because our languages constitute part of our intangible heritage. And we as linguists should push till every Ghanaian child can speak at least one Ghanaian language very fluently and also be able to read. So, you people sitting in that corner, take your Ghanaian language studies seriously, right? Not just for B's, but beyond B's. So, ladies and gentlemen, let's go back to the home, and with all pleasure, I hereby, you've already said it, but I hereby take it back to the home. It's like, okay, we'll get there. We will get there, right? Okay. All right, your internet connection is, but you've seen it before. So let's give a hand and welcome the new website of the Linguistics Department. If you want to get to the website, those of you who have smartphones here, you can go uglinguistics.com. That's all. You don't need a whole lot. uglinguistics.com. So make sure you go there right now. The department is also launching its e-newsletter, which would be available on the website. Okay, so this is how it will look like. This is the LQ, right? The newsletter is called LQ. That is Legon Linguistic Letters. Legon Linguistics Letters, LQ. Or L to the power 3. Isn't that what the mathematicians say? All right, L to the power 3. So that's our newsletter, and please visit the site and read lots of stuff for yourself. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Prof. I'd like to mention also that the Department of Linguistics has a Twitter page, and which I think there are a couple of updates on the Twitter page now. So, and the Twitter handle is @UGLinguistics. So the website is uglinguistics.com, but the Twitter page is @UGLinguistics. The @ is the sign over there. So fantastic things are happening at the department. There's also a Facebook page that you can go like the Facebook page on Twitter. You can follow the account and recommend to all alumni and other members. And yes, I should mention that I think last week Thursday, the department engaged in a football gala. And the team is called Morphine 11. And Morphine 11 won the gala, so let's give them a hand of applause. While all this is going on, I'd like to welcome on stage here Professor Nana Baramfo and Dr. Clement Apa to give us some details on recent developments in the department. Dr. Apa, can someone please find Dr. Apa for us? I saw him a moment ago. Dr. Apa. Okay, let's move on to the next item. I think we'll return to this. He's coming. But please, Archibald, are you here? Is Archibald here? Archibald.
Okay, so what we are going to do is to just give you a preview of some of the things that have been happening in very, very recent times. As we said earlier on, if you're dealing with a department like linguistics over 50 years, and you want to go through all the things that have happened, that's like a whole day. And so Dr. Apa will just run us through some very, very recent developments. So you can go on while you choose.
Okay. I just have about 10 slides with which I'm going to tell you what has been going on in the department. Okay. So I was going to tell you the numbers in terms of undergraduate students, how impressive they have been over the past 10 years. Hopefully the projector will respond and we'll get to see what has been going on. And the numbers have been very impressive. As in 2005, we had 1,577 undergraduate students. In 2006, 1,480, 2007, 1,523, in 2008, 1,522, and yes, so that is good. So I get to not that one. Well, okay, it doesn't want to show it. No. Yes, so, and now on the numbers indeed are impressive. Consistently, as a department, we've had over 1,000 students at any time over the past 10 years. Now, when we come to the graduate students, I want you to look at the regular MPhil students, and you see that going from top to bottom, the number consistently increases. But for 2008-2009, when we had 14 students, which appears to be the highest, when it comes to the TESOL, teaching English as a second language, for the past 10 years, there's been consistent increase.